7:03. And since this is the first meeting of the year, we're going to go ahead and do a presentation, the oath of office of Tom Cole. And then right after this, we're going to go through the rest of the meeting and then we're going to part. Okay. So the rest of the meeting will be quick. It probably lasts 5 or so, maybe minutes or so. And then we can have some coffee and cake and we can part. Okay. So.
Yeah. All right. So good evening, everybody. I'm Judge John Russo. So I've here in Cuyahoga County, I've been a judge for 20 years. And it's probably one of my favorite things to do, civil wedding ceremonies and swearing-ins, because a lot of what happens in the courtroom isn't always happy. And this is always a happy moment. So I'm excited to be here. I'm very happy that I was asked to perform the swearing in here today. So today I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand first, Tom. I'll ask that you try to. Yeah. Do they all know? Yep. Yeah. He told me, he said, "Hey, Judge, because of my shoulder replacement, my arm might slip just a little bit. Don't take that as any disrespect." So I said, of course I would not. So I, Thomas Cole.
I, Thomas Cole.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support.
That I will support.
Protect and defend.
Protect and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of this great state of Ohio.
And the Constitution of this great state of Ohio.
And that I will discharge my duties.
And I will discharge my duties.
Of my office of Olmsted Township Trustee.
Of the office of, or discharge the duties of Olmsted Township Trustee.
With fidelity.
With fidelity.
That I have not paid or contributed.
I have not paid or contributed.
Or promised to pay or contribute.
Or pay or contribute.
Either directly or indirectly.
Either directly or indirectly.
Any money or any other valuable.
Any money or any other valuable.
To procure my nomination or election.
To procure my nomination or election.
Except for necessary.
Except for necessary.
And proper expenses.
And proper expenses.
Expressly authorized by law.
Expressly authorized by law.
That I have not knowingly.
That I have not knowingly.
Violated any election law.
Violated any election law.
Of this state.
Of this state.
Or procured it.
Or procured it.
To be done by others.
Or to be done by others.
That I will not knowingly receive.
That I will not knowingly receive.
Directly or indirectly.
Directly or indirectly.
Any money.
Any money.
Or other valuable thing.
Or other valuable thing.
For the performance.
For the performance.
Or non-performance.
Or non-performance.
Of any act or duty.
Of any act or duty.
Pertaining to my office.
Pertaining to my office.
Other than the compensation.
Other than the compensation.
Allowed by law.
Allowed by law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Shake hands.
Sure.
Shake hands.
Sure.
There you go. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You gotta make it official.
Yep.
Right in front of everybody.
All right. Congratulations, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yep. Okay, and then there's a couple other things we have to do here before we get the regular meeting started. So next, we're going to nominate the chair and the vice chair of the board going forward for this year. So do I have a nomination for the chair for this year?
I am going to move to nominate Riley Alton as the chair.
Okay.
I'll second.
And we're going to take other nominations and then we'll vote. Okay. So are there any other nominations for chair?
I know.
All right, great. So since Riley was, Trustee Alton was elected to be chair, we need to say if we have approval. So So do we have a motion for trustee Alton to be chair?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and to approve trustee Alton to be chair, trustee Zver,
Yes.
trustee Alton,
Yes.
and trustee Cole.
Yes.
All right, great. Congratulations, Brian. Okay, and next will be the vice chair position. So do we have any nominations for vice chair?
Yes, I'm going to move to have trustee Cole as the vice chair for the board.
Great.
Second.
Okay, any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, good. So trustees Bear, you motioned, and trustee Alton, you seconded that?
Yes.
And then to elect Tom Cole as vice chair, trustees Bear,
Yes.
trustee Alton,
Yes.
and trustee Cole.
Yes.
All right, congratulations. So now we can reconvene into the other meeting, and then maybe you guys can switch chairs. Sure. Right? This is musical chairs. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, finally, yeah.
switch name tags?
Yeah, we sure.
There we go. Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna call this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees to order at 7:09 PM.
Okay, we'll do roll call. Trustee Alton,
Here.
trustee Cole, here, trustees Bear,
Yes.
Jim Matthews, here, legal counsel, and fiscal officer Brian Gillette is here. How we stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have any public comments related to the agenda?
I don't think anyone had any public comments. Normally, there would be a sheet of paper filled out, and I don't think anybody filled in.
Great. All right. Trustee and committee reports. Trustee Cole? Nothing to report. Trustee Zver?
Nothing to report.
All right. I'm going to proceed to my report, and I just want to keep it brief, but I want to say how grateful I am for the trust of my colleagues, allowing me to lead the board forward in 2024. I'm really excited for the work that we have ahead. I think we have the right pieces in place, and I have every confidence in each member of our staff. We have some truly remarkable people here. And we really stand on the shoulders of everybody else who has served, whether as a department leader or as an elected official. We really stand on the work that has been put in before us that has allowed us to be where we are today. And I think that no person personifies that more than former trustee Janine Kress. And there is, huge shoes to fill that I know that Tom is really well equipped to fill. And I just want to make sure that as we work together and move forward, that we're honoring not only her service, but the service of everybody who allowed each one of us to be here and to serve the public today, whether that's in an elected office or as a appointed one as a department head here in the township. There's been a lot of discussion. I would say that, Trustee Cole as a trustee elect took a more active approach than anybody probably ever has in the trustee elect role. We discussed our priorities at length together. The three of us are very different people. Like we have very different perspectives, different jobs, different walks of life. And at the same time, we've come to many agreements about where we want to proceed and the directions that we want the township to go. And I think some people on its face might find that surprising. But I really don't think that it is, because at the end of the day, the reason for that consensus is that our priorities are your priorities. And my promise to all of you as chair and as your colleague is that we will leave no stone unturned and that no one will outwork us as we seek to carry out the priorities of the people of Olmsted Township. Those are my remarks as chair. I appreciate you guys indulging me. I also want to acknowledge we have some Cub Scouts here from Pack 102, Den 5. So can we give them a round of applause?
thank you guys all for being here. We work for you, so I hope this is interesting to you. So I also wanted to add at the request of our administrator, Gary Yelendowski, that we have actually added the calendar that, I don't know where Marty Wesher is, but we added the calendar to the website that you asked for. So that is the only other thing that I have to report, and we'll proceed on. So department reports. First up, fire department.
Good evening and congratulations to Trustee Tom Cole. This is a report for January 11th, 2024. Not much going on so far. It's been a slow start to the year. We do have Chris Jansen celebrating his 25th anniversary with Olmsted Township Fire Department. He began his career on December 15th, 1999 as a part-timer, and they became full-time on January 1st, 2002. He cooked dinner for us tonight. He's also an amazing chef. So I invite all of you to come up and eat. No, I'm kidding. But we really appreciate his service, and he is one of my trusted senior members of the department. So on the training front, we're teaching both CPR and stop the bleed to the parapros at Olmsted schools tomorrow. It's a huge undertaking. There's at least 65 of these folks. And so we've been building up our CPR staff, people getting them trained up so they can teach. And we're doing that with the help of university hospitals as well as Southwest General Hospital for supplies and things like that. Our hope is to get the CPR quarterly classes for the lay people back online. COVID kind of derailed that for a while, and that's what we're kind of building towards so that we can offer that back to the township citizens. EMS training this month with Southwest Hospitals on pediatric illnesses and an eye gel device. An eye gel device is basically something that we as paramedics use to breathe for someone who's not breathing anymore. It's a less damaging device than some of the other ones we've used before, and we've switched over region-wide to them. It's a lot better apparatus to use. This quarter fire rescue training is spinal motion restriction, basically when and where to use backboards and C-collars and things like that. Station cleanup this month, we've been going through expired and unused items to reduce the clutter. We've also been selling off stuff that is just no longer used to try to recoup some of that cost back to the township. The AFG grant will open this month, so we'll be writing for that for various products from the federal government to take care of that. Anything we get a grant for is less stuff that we have to use township funds for. The ARPA retention grant has been completed and funding should be coming back to the township at the end of the month, and that's basically a $52,000 grant that we got for both retention as well as some firefighter wellness grants. Total incidents in 2023 was 2,307, which was up over 260 runs from 2022. So we've been getting a lot busier, and the things that we've been doing as a staff and as a board to prepare ourselves have been paying off big dividends, as you'll see in the annual report. January year-to-date, as of Monday, we had 45 incidences so far. We've had 6 fires, 32 EMS calls, a motor vehicle collision, a gas leak, and a service call. That completes my report. Any questions from the board?
Are there any questions from the board?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. All right. Next up, service department report.
Good evening, everyone. Service Department's report for January 11th. I'm sure most of you know a little update on the Stearns Road project. The southbound lane is complete. Concrete curb and gutter is complete. Sidewalk on the west side of the street is complete. And I think about 90% of the aprons to the homes on the west side. I will be attending on the 16th, a coordination meeting between the County Public Works. Like I said, on the 16th. Update on our force account. Of course, these are the funds that we use to maintain our county roadways. For the closing of the year, 2023, we're at $512,787.27. So we met our mark, if not exceeded our mark of 500,000. We had 2 pretty extensive water main breaks on Elizabeth and Oak Ridge. This is in the Breezewood subdivision. They have been repaired by Cleveland Water, and then early spring will complete the surface repair on those. If you don't know, we're constructing a bar park on Shady Road. something we're pretty proud of. Columbia Fence has started the offensive for the actual dog park aspect of it. We're getting quotes for building at that site. And, my gentlemen are completing, benches that will be put sporadically on the path. Our crew is keeping up on our potholes throughout the township. They took down all the holiday lighting displays. And we also completed last week our mandated street sweeping throughout the township. Facilities and equipment, our crew has done extensive painting in our police department and in this building here, the administrative offices. Some grant updates, we're applying for the H2 Ohio fluoride reduction grant. This is a grant through the EPA. This is a $75,000 grant that allows us to, if one, purchase equipment that would do just that, to reduce the impact of salt that we use on our roadways. So we are currently working on that. We're also applying for the Community Recycling Awareness Grant. This is through Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District. This is a $6,000 grant and we utilize to send out our magnets to our residents for garbage and keep them informed of certain dates of recycling and so on. And it also pays for 2 shredded events. So that's what that grant would pay for. Training, we had Alan Seaworth. He's from Borough Training Consultant and Design. He did a great chainsaw and safety training for all of our guys. It was really informative. Appreciate it. That was on the 9th of this week, Tuesday. And I will be attending Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District's trash talk on the 30th of this month. And then personnel, I'm proud to say we finally have all 7 of our crew or individuals that all have a Class B at minimum CDL. So they are ready to battle the white stuff once it comes. I'm not hurt in any way that it hasn't. So, but that concludes my report.
Any questions from the board? No.
Great news about the guys passing.
Good work.
Yeah,
Thanks, Eric.
thanks, Eric.
All right, building department report.
Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you.
Building department report for 1/10/23. Our big news is we officially got the submitted plans for the new muscle car museum. It's going to be hopefully breaking ground in April or May. And so it's going to be a big project, a lot to see. It's going to put a lot of things, I think, into our community that people are going to really enjoy. So we're excited about that. We slow down, usually construction slows down right now, so it gives us an opportunity to really kind of work on our new computer launch, which we're down to, looks like a couple weeks, and we'll be all done with that system.
That's great.
Other than that, training, we have training coming, conferences in February, and I think that concludes my report this time.
Great.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Any questions from the board?
Nope.
Any questions? No?
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
All right, legal counsel Jim Matthews.
Oh, nothing tonight, thank you.
Fiscal officer Brian Miller.
Yep, I just have a couple things. It is a busy time of the year for fiscal department, especially Tracy in the way back, even though she doesn't want me to say anything. But there she is back there. And anyway, it's a very busy time for us. We're closing out the year. We do have our financial statements that I'm working on that I have to present to the county and the state. So I'm working on those. The budget is basically done, at least the temporary budget is done. So we're working on formalizing our final budget. And we do have our 2-year audit this year too, that's coming up. So that'll be throughout the summer that we'll do our 2-year audit that's mandatory. So that's the biggest things going on in the fiscal department.
Okay, great. And can we make sure, I know Administrator Yovanovski is not here, but he does have a very extensive written report. So we'll just want to make sure that's aligned for everybody to see, even though
Yeah.
you can't be here today.
Yeah, here's his report here. So we're not going to go over that, but as Riley said, it's very
Very good. All right. New business, no old business items, new business items. Item A, discussion and approval and extend the rule for determination of meeting schedule notification, trustee meetings at 7:30 PM in the community room on the first and third Thursday of each month with a planned recess in June and July. Is there any discussion on this item? No. Okay. And I just want to make sure I'm moving it correctly. I will make a motion to approve and extend the rule for determination of meeting schedule and notification. Is there a second?
Second. Okay, and to approve the rule of determination on the meeting schedule, trustee Alton,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Zare.
Yes.
All right. Item B, approve and extend the general rules for meeting procedures. And I just want to briefly explain the difference in this rule. So this is our normal rules for meeting procedure. However, under order and decorum, it reads, a member of the board shall be selected to serve as chairperson with another member selected to serve as vice chairperson. The chair shall serve for a one-year appointment, and ordinarily at the conclusion of such a term, the then serving vice chairperson shall rotate into the role of chairperson. And there is also a caveat that says these appointments are subject to adjustment by the board for any circumstances. And members may serve as chairperson or vice chairperson for successive terms. So just codifying something we're really already doing here. So is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and to approve the approve and extend the general rules for the meeting procedures, trustee Alton,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Zare.
Yes.
Item C, monthly staff meetings will be held on the first Friday at 8:00 AM as needed by the administrator. And I want to make sure that there's not anything else to read with this. I will make a motion implementing a policy for monthly staff meetings generally scheduled with department heads and the township administrator for the first Friday of each month at 8:00 AM and or as otherwise scheduled by the administrator. Second.
And that was Tom Cole.
Yes.
Second.
Yes.
Okay. And to approve the monthly staff meetings that will be held on Friday at 8:00. First Friday in the month at 8:00. Trustee Alton,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Zare.
Yes.
And item D, to approve the administrator being the direct report for department heads, the administrator will submit a monthly report to the board of trustees. This one's a mouthful, so stick with me, but I will make a motion addressing the role of township administrator for the handling of internal office communication. Many ordinary and routine matters may be efficiently addressed through engagement of the administrator who can assist with gathering responsive information, obtaining professional advice, and centralizing the distribution of reports to others. Consequently, department heads shall utilize the township administrator as the primary report for all matters of township business, including reports and routine questions for assessment and distribution of information for further handling. And this role of the administrator does not operate as any restriction on each department head's authority or discretion to freely exchange information with the board of trustees, individual members of the board, the fiscal officer, one another, and township staff. Rather, utilization of the township administrator in this role is intended to streamline the exchange of information to assist all department heads in receiving input and other assistance that they need to remain effective. And I will also move that the township administrator prepare, submit, and provide a monthly written report addressing pending projects and other matters under consideration, as well as township planning. I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and to approve the administrator being the direct report to department heads and the administrator submit a monthly report. Trustee Alton,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Zare.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Law Director, for your help with all of this. You're welcome. Item E, Vermeer All Roads quote for branch chipper, $52,000. Is there any discussion on this item? No. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and to approve the Vermeer All Roads quote for a branch chipper for $52,068. Trustee Alton,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Zare.
Yes.
Item F, COVID-19 employee policy update. Is there any discussion on this item?
No.
Okay.
Just want to thank the administrator for his work on revising what we already had in place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is Gary on? Is he listening?
Let's see, we do have 6 participants. So right now, we have ourselves
Okay, he's on
and then Gary is here, so
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
do we want him to talk?
If he wants to, he can.
Hey, Gary, you can go ahead and talk
If you
you'd
want.
like.
It's all good. All right, I think is there a motion and a second?
Yeah, we already did.
We already did.
Yep.
Yeah, so, wait, we had motion, who motioned that?
I think that was Lisa.
I moved, yeah.
Okay.
And then Tom.
And
Yep,
Tom.
second.
Okay, and to approve the COVID-19 employee policy update, trustee Alden,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Bear.
Yes.
Okay, and item G, credit limit for Northwest Bank Visa to $20,000. Any discussion on this item, and do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and to approve the credit limit for our Visa, it's a $20,000, trustee Alden,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Bear.
Yes.
All right, consent agenda items available upon request. Item A, special meeting minutes, December 28th, 2023, payment of bills and payroll, warrants, vouchers, and EOs. Do I have a motion or any discussion on this item?
No discussion. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, and to approve consent agenda items, both A and B, trustee Alden,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Bear.
Yes.
All right. No requisitions, resolutions, resolution A 001/2023 reappropriation budget adjustment transfers. Any discussion on this item, and do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and to approve resolution 1-2023, the reappropriation and budget adjustments and transfers, trustee Alden,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Bear.
Yes.
And resolution B, resolution 001/2023, the 2024 community planning grant application. I want to thank the administrator for his work on this and all the input for the board. Do I have any discussion or a motion?
No discussion. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, and to approve resolution 002-2023, the 24 community planning grant application, trustee Alden,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Bear.
Yes.
And I believe we have one public comment from Marty Wesher on Lewis Road.
Yes, first of all, I want to congratulate Tom on joining your crew and carrying this forward.
Thank you,
But just
Mark.
like to point out that in Westlake this week, there was a story about Avon Lake School Board, which ran into difficulties because they had meetings were not open and advertised in advance to the public. So as I mentioned this before, I think it's very important to point out in that article that any actions taken at an invalid meeting are not valid actions. So I will ask again, just to make sure that we are all aware of when some of these decisions are discussed and handled. So that's it. Thank you all very much.
Great. Thanks, Marty. All right. Any other matter that may come before the board?
No, that's
I
it.
think for that, yeah.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting at 7:31. Sorry, that was longer than 5 minutes.
Did I have a second?
I'll second.
And to approve the adjournment, trustee Alden,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Yes.
and trustee Bear.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned.
You're free.
Yes.
There's some coffee and some cake, there will honors, everything back here, so yes, we will, please enjoy.
Yep.
Actually, meeting, today's meeting.
On the website, we'll get that. That's a good
But I
one.
mean, people should not have like,
Yeah.
something having a discussion, something.
Zoning changes.
You know, the update of the whole.
Oh, for the last, yes, there will be a public process. This is just to apply for grant funding to. Yeah, there will be public input. Yeah, so I like
Yes,
to see zoning more.
Okay.
And
Probably should have gotten one of those.
I know that if you're talking about the one that previously went to the